Hello, my friends. Welcome to Module 1, Lesson 2. What are you sending them? So even if you were to take advantage of the information I gave you in the last video, which is pioneerdatasolutions.com or firstam.com, which basically stands for First American. First American, by the way, is where most title companies get their title insurance information. It's where Bright MLS, the MLS, the Remine inside the MLS, gets mortgage data. When you go into an MLS and a realtor is looking, you can actually see all this information in Remine. But if you are not a real estate agent and you don't have one that's going to, at your beck and call, give you everything you need, then you would go to firstam.com. Even if you get all of that data, and in that data you get someone's phone number, and you just say, screw all this mailing stuff. I'm not going to spend money on envelopes, stamps, printing, folding, stuffing, and you just call them. They're still going to think, they're still not going to always believe you. They're going to want to see something in writing. You know, people call me every day off LinkedIn. They're trying to sell me on products, services, and hook up. You know, it's like just, I help real estate agents do this. I help you. I help you. I'm a virtual assistant. Lenders call me. And I always say, you know what? Sounds great. Send me an email with some information and I'll look at it. And I do look at it, okay? So people like to see something in writing where there's a website they can go to and they do their due diligence. There's just too many scams out there right now. You have to look legit. You need to decide right now when you mail someone, what is the signature going to look like on the letter, like the one we're about to look at right now? What is the title? What is the footer? What is the header? What is the company name? Is your name on there? Is your cell phone on there? Is an email on there? Do you have a website? I'm saying make yourself look legit. You can do it really cheaply. I mean, literally you can go make a free website on Squarespace. I mean, I'm going back in time here, but I'm just saying there are free ways to do it. You can do it through GoDaddy, free website. You need some way to make yourself seem legit, okay? The letter cannot be Joe Blow they've never heard of and they can't validate you, okay? So let's look at the letter right now because this is step 1 of 2 pieces of information I mail people. Okay, so this is one of 2 pieces of mailings. Let me just make it really big so you can see it. First thing is, I have a name. The name is Virginia's Home Rescue. You don't have to have that. You could have anything, but you need to have something. They're going to read the header. Before they throw that piece of paper away, and I'm going to show you exactly what to do on that envelope to get it opened, you have to have something on the top, okay? Now, the reason that I have the words, you have rights and options, is because people who are trying to figure out how to get out from under their home, who are delinquent or who are in foreclosure, going to auction, or any situation where you're going to be offering them some kind of cash offer and then wholesaling it to someone, they don't want to be perceived as someone who's in trouble or they've done anything wrong. Now, they have done something wrong. They're delinquent. They haven't paid their mortgage. They're late. And sometimes people have mooched this for 10 years. Recently, I ran into someone who has not paid in 14 years. And for some reason, the lender just now got around to foreclosing on them. But the point is, I take information that people tell me when I'm on the appointment with them, the words they say, and I use it in my marketing. Okay, that's the key. Speak their language. Don't try to figure it out. You're not going to ever figure it out unless you're going through it right now. Use the words that people tell you when you meet them, even when you don't get deals. You still are out meeting people and talking to people who are delinquent, or if you've never done it before, this is what I'm telling you, is that on multiple hundreds of appointments, people say things to me, even when I don't get it. I use those words to then market to them. And part of them is they want to know that they have rights and that they have options. And they're not pigeonholed into wholesaling it with you. Okay, the purpose of this first piece of this first letter is the number one tactic. I would say the number one strategy, negotiating strategy with anyone in the world. This includes your kids, anyone of any level. Number 1, there's 4 masterful negotiation strategies. And the number one is give people options and take away the thing that you want them to choose. So what I mean is you give people options and kind of steer away from the thing that you actually want them to choose. That way they feel like you're not pushing them into doing something that they don't want to do. So first is I have a title of who I am, and this could be anything that you decide. And then I have words that I've heard over and over and over from people, which is, hey, I have rights, I have options. So I just want to throw that, let them read that. And then I basically write in a conversational way, if you are currently late on your mortgage, you have options. And I would like to share those with you today. There's no secret. There's no scheme here. I'm literally sharing options. You are not alone. And avoiding foreclosure may be easier than you think. These are legit. This is a sentence I would say to someone in person. This is a sentence I wish someone would have said to me way back. Okay, so I go into the options. By the way, here is a tip that no one seems to understand. If you're struggling with trying to figure out what to send people, any people, like what if you're a real estate agent right now and you're watching this and you're struggling with what to send people, whether it's wholesale potential clients, expired listings, current active potential home owners that are absentee owners, for sale by owners, literally any category. The key to your mailing is that the first page, this is I'm sidetracking here, but I'm just giving you some massive, massive gold. The key to your mailing is that you put together one letter of all the information you want to tell someone. And you can see this letter gives them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options and a 6th bonus area. This is your 7 letters. These are your 7 letters. Now, I'm not telling you to mail 7 letters. I'm giving you this one letter, but I'm just telling you in the future, if you're ever worrying about what to think, I have a whole nother course I'm creating on how to create what to mail. Literally, anytime anyone has to reach out to someone and prove themselves as a masterful outreach person, you have to figure out words to put on paper to mail people to get them to respond. The easiest way to do that is to create a letter that gives like 4 to 7 options of what you want to tell someone. And then each option becomes a separate letter. In essence, if you give someone 4 options, you then have 5 letters. One is the letter and the other is the 4 letters that follow it. If you have, in this case, 5 with a bonus, you have 7 letters. By the way, if you go to my website, Virginia Home Rescue, and you actually fill your information in, you will get these 7 letters in 7 different emails. You will get actually 7 different emails over a period of, maybe 3 weeks. And each email covers each of these topics. I digress, but the point is I'm about to give someone options and they're going to read it. And they're going to read it because I'm going to tell you what to put on the outside of the envelope. So option number 1 is you can file bankruptcy, Mr. Homeowner. You do not have to. I am not telling them to accept my offer. Negotiation tactic number 1, give them options and tell them everything but the thing you want them to choose first. So option number 1 is you can file bankruptcy and you can stop the foreclosure literally immediately. You can file bankruptcy and stop the foreclosure immediately. In fact, this is the only thing that someone can do if they're in foreclosure or they have an auction coming really quickly, like within less than 2 weeks, is that they need to file bankruptcy if they're going to stop the foreclosure. The option number 2 is that they can accept a cash offer on their home. There is my suggested offer. Okay, but I'm not highlighting it. I'm not making it yellow. I'm not making it bigger than the rest. I'm literally giving 1 of 5 things, and there is the thing that I want them to choose. I want them to accept a cash offer. Yes, there are investors and buyers willing to pay cash for your home, and that is a home that is at market value, giving you an opportunity to stop the foreclosure and get cash to start your new life. That's what I want them to choose. But I'm going to tell them the real other options. Things I would avoid doing, which are still options. walking away, which a lot of people are doing right now, actually, walking away. And this costs the bank money, of course. It costs them money to foreclose. And then they tack on a deficiency judgment against your credit report for whatever they decide to sell the property for. And if there's a difference between what you owe and what they sell for, then you get that as a judgment. A short sale, okay. Now in here I say if at all cost I would avoid doing a short sale. And that in 2010 the banks were doing them in abundance, but this market is different. I mean, whatever, it's still an option, and I would definitely short sell their home. But instead, right now, I have literally massive amounts of cash buyers, so I wouldn't probably do that option. And so option number 5 is loan modification, and that is straight up a scam. I don't care who you are, what you're watching this video. Loan modification will never truly benefit the homeowner, okay? It will always tack on so much more money in fees that they will never be able to pay it off or profit. If you want to challenge me on that, comment on some of my videos and just tell me your experience. Loan modification, the banks would like you to believe this is an option that saves you, but in reality it may end up costing constant lates. And then at Virginia Home Rescue, we offer additionally, on top of a cash buyer, we actually pay to clean out any items left in the home. Junk, personal items, stuff like that. We pay a company to come clean it out. That is something we actually do pay for out of pocket. We help them get cash for items in their home. If they want to sell them on Marketplace or whatever, it's just kind of like a free thing. We also have movers that we pay free to them to help them move from the home. And we can recommend a trusted bankruptcy attorney if they contact us and say that's the route they want to go. And we also offer a list of cash buyers who would want to make a difference by allowing anyone interested to not only buy their home, okay, at a good fair market value or less than, I would say less than. We actually have investors that want to buy at what their current mortgage balance is, okay? And we talked about in the other video, we want their balance to be $80K less than current market value. That gives the investor the allowance to make a lot of money on their property. But also, it allows them to get a cash offer. And what this last item is saying is that we have cash buyers that are willing to buy their home and allow them to stay and rent if they qualify and if that investor chooses to do that. And then I sign it with my real name, my real phone number, a real company that has an LLC with Virginia, they can go look it up, and a real website. And I even try to take the work out of them picking up the phone and dialing my number, because some people just don't like to talk to you, by offering them a text option and say, text your street number. Example is 7371 to my phone to receive a cash offer amount for your property. And how I do this, I'm going to explain in my second piece of mail. So that is the letter. That's the letter I wish I would have received. That's the letter every homeowner who's late would like to know, because you're not stuffing your agenda down their throat. You're giving them options. And one of those options is what you would like to help them with. But you need to be able to help them with all of these options. You need to be able to have a real estate agent that will sell the property and give you something, right? You need to have a bankruptcy attorney that will stop their foreclosure for them, because if you're just mailing people to do one thing and one thing only, you're not going to get everyone. You need to be able to have options and help. So let's go into piece number 2. Now, piece number 2 is something that you may or may not be able to provide, but it's probably what gets us a lot of our phone calls. And that is that I pay for a website called, well, first of all, I bought a domain called cashoffersvirginia.com, and I direct it to a website that is basically the home of thousands and thousands of cash investors. And the minute I plug in a home, I get 5 offers. And I'll show you that site right now. Here it is. It's called, you can go to it, cashoffersvirginia.com. And it just looks like this. It's a legit site of, like I said, thousands of investors. So it used to be that institutional investors were the only ones that would buy. People would buy in bulk, big companies. Now, anyone, you You, me, anyone who has cash can go sign up on this website and become the buyer and wait for people like me to plug in a property that's available. And then you can see it. You can look at photos and see everything about it. And then you can put an offer in. And so that's what I do. I go into the back end of this website and I plug in the properties that I'm mailing. And we have code to do that. Okay, it'd take me too long to do it manually. And every single property we mail, we actually print the offers that the investors have provided us. So let's go back to this a second. And it ends up looking like this. It says cash offer on your property, and there are legit 4 offers when an investor on the Cash Offers Virginia site offers them an offer. They get typically 4 offers. They get a cash plus offer, cash straight. This is closed in 14 days. Close in 14 days is always like at 70% of whatever the current market value is. And or they can just sell now, move later. That's rent up to a year. And or fix it and then list it. And rarely people take this or even look at this option. Typically people do this option number 1, option number 2. Option number 1 is they list it, they get an offer that closes in 21 days. And then the investor that buys it, turns around and lists it with the real estate agent. And then assuming that the current market gets the price that they paid them, they can get a little bit more cash. So I can explain that later. But the point is that I send them something that says, this property that you own, we have potential cash buyers, and these are some cash buyer options for you. And so this is key to giving people options that make you look more legit. Now, if they want to, they don't see anything on here that says Cash Offer Virginia, but they can go to our website if they want to check me out first, and they can it's briefly just one page, and every single button does the same thing. It brings up this. But I did incorporate, which I don't see it right here, but this whole Trustpilot thing, which has real reviews from real people and stuff like that. So you want to create something that's just like a one pager. Again, like there's nothing here except all this stuff is on one page, and then there's one button. So let's go back to this. The most important piece is the letter. The second most important piece is some validation of a legit offer in cash. Like if you have someone that is willing to pay cash, do you have some kind of proof that you could send them or something? Have you actually looked at the property to see what price you would offer them? I mean, you have to provide something, and that's kind of what we've done here. We say, here's your options, and by the way, here are actual offers based on your property. Now, I stopped doing all the individual printouts because it took too long, as we send hundreds and hundreds of letters. So I just did this sample one that I send with every single property. And then if they do text me, I can pull up their actual offer that I have for them. Don't let this complicate it. Send the letter only, or send the letter plus some validation that you have a real cash offer and how much that offer would be. That's what you're mailing them. And so now your question is, how do you get the envelope off? How do you get the envelope? Well, I do print the envelope. Okay, I don't hand write because it's just too many. I print them on my printer, and I take a pen on every single envelope. I take a pen on the outside of the envelope, even though the envelope return address and who it's going to is printed on a printer in a script format, hand script like Bradley hand. I actually write on there, I do an asterisk, offer enclosed is what I write on the envelope. And it gets it opened. I just write the words offer enclosed. So sometimes you have to put you have to put your personal touch to make you look real. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this like overview, or you got something, you steal this letter. I'm literally going to put it in the download section. You can download it, you can change it, edit it. Obviously put your information on here or whatever you want to say. Change, of course, Virginia Home Rescue. There's only really one of those, and it'll work. It'll work for you.